What's going on, people? Welcome to another Toronto Hoop Talk live stream. It's been a minute. I was supposed to do this on Sunday, didn't get the chance to do so, but I'm here. Shout out to everybody in here. It's been a minute. There's a lot to talk about. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel before I get started. Shout out to DC. Dame got done dirty. Absolutely. I mean, it's nice to go disrespectful waving him like that. I mean, he tore his Achilles for freedom, baby. If Turner's worth more than Jacopo's not worth 20, they overpaid Jacob. We're definitely gonna get into that. God damn, I should not have put that on. I should be reading things before I click them. I was trying to find your Twitter to message you about Masai stuff, but I couldn't find you. Okay. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out later in the chat. But yeah, so like I said, there's 10 people watching live. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. You can't just go stream suddenly. I'm playing. Damn, bro, my bad. Relax. I mean, shit. I'll message you next time. I will find you on socials and I will message you. But the first thing we're gonna talk about is Masai Ujiri departing. So Masai Ujiri is no longer the president. Him not being the president is not that much of a surprise considering all the rumblings. His contract had 1 year left. Ed Rogers was never really the guy he would get along with. He was more of a Tannenbaum guy. So essentially the new owners are people that aren't huge fans for whatever reason. I don't really know the details about that. I imagine it's a power struggle more than anything. But so him not being a part of the Raptors long term, not that far-fetched. It kind of seemed like there were hints about that. The timing of it is the kind of the shocking part. I couldn't believe that it was right after the draft. After they're putting out things on the socials of Colin Murray Boyles being welcomed to the Raptors and he's on the call. So seeing that was kind of wild. But the timing is just strange. Like, if you're going to let him do the draft, let him do free agency. If you're not going to let him do free agency, don't let him do the draft. I definitely don't understand the timing. My biggest concern is that I know very little about how Rodgers are going to go about owning the Raptors, but this is the first thing that happened that's somewhat of an indication of how they are as owners. And the timing of this is really strange. I mean, the outcome isn't great. I personally think that whatever issues they have with Masai, that's a sign they're probably not going to be the best owners. But sure, difference of opinion happens there. But then you go about dismissing him like this. It's really, really bizarre. What I heard is Tannenbaum was going to sell his stake in 2026. So Masai saw the writing on the wall. He's not stupid. He was going to hit shit can summer 26. Regardless, it makes no difference. He was shit canned a year early. Probably the best for both parties. I mean, the thing is like, again, the decision was going to be made. I can understand that. But why between the draft and free agency? That's just my big concern. I'm seeing what both you guys are saying in terms of him not being here long term. That definitely looks like that would have been the case. Him and Ed Rogers. Not so. Here's the thing, bro. DC, I'm not necessarily even looking at it from a standpoint of. I'm not looking at it from a standpoint of like early, like now versus next year. I'm talking about it now versus a month from now versus a month earlier. Because honestly, like, why was he here until June? Whatever. When did he get fired? The 25th, 26th. Why was he even here this long? Like, we had our off season started early, bro. Our season was done April 15th. So whoever this new guy is, the new person could have had an opportunity to put their mark on the Raptors going into next year. Like, we didn't have to have this. Like, part of what my concern is that like this off season is not going to be given to that next person, and it could have been. So we're going to have a random Bobby Webster offseason. Who knows if he's going to do stuff that lines up with what the next person wants. Now, argument could be made that there's not a ton of mobility with this roster in the first place. So there's a pretty realistic chance that nothing would have happened anyways with the new person. Like, we kind of have to just take our medicine with some of these contracts. But yeah, my biggest issue is that the timing is just like, again, April 15th, we're done playing basketball. Why did it take 2 months to fire him? Outcome isn't great. Like, maybe 26 Ramsey. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this on Sunday on the Emotion Football stream for sure. But yeah, and like, So like I said, my issue is with the timing. When it comes to the outcome, I would have liked to see Masai stay along long term. That's what I personally want, because I trust in his ability to learn from his mistakes. But that's a personal thing. That's a subjective thing, and that's my call on the situation. I think it's completely fair if there's some people that I guess are kind of doubtful about the team he could have put together, because he did make a fair share of mistakes. Like, we are in the situation where in from a roster standpoint, because of two things I would say is that one thing is holding on to that roster for too long and delaying the rebuild. And the other thing is just being too persistent about Vision 6-9 and trying to play basketball in a very specific way. So creating an imbalanced roster on purpose, and then holding on to a team and delaying the rebuild for too long. I think those were two mistakes. Ultimately, I believe in his ability to learn from those mistakes. I think when we hire this new guy, there's a very realistic possibility we could get somebody that's worse than Masai. And that's my big concern. If we go get somebody that's just as good or better, then obviously I don't have any issues, right? But yeah, my big concern is just like, am I entirely confident we're going to do that? I'm hoping that it happens. I'm hoping. I can see them having a fight on draft night who they pick the whole CMB over Malwash. But bro, we're a 30-year-old franchise that won chip 6 years ago. We're not in a 70-year drought like the Kings and are directionless. I mean, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, we weren't in a horrible spot. Or like, we haven't been in a horrible spot considering how things go for other franchises. Oh, big up Psy. Okay. Yeah, big up Psy. Your name is in caps, so it just threw me off. I'm like, Sale FC? Who is Sale Football Club? But no, that's Psy. Other thing I was gonna say. Oh yeah, so to kind of wrap up the Masai topic, right? Yeah, I'm disappointed in the timing. Personally, I'm disappointed in the result, but I'm open-minded to the idea that, like, the guy made some mistakes. You know, the immediate future doesn't look the best. Whatever. You think you can do better? Fair. You better do better now that that's the case. But if you think you can do better, whatever, right? Worried about where we are going to go from here. Imagine seeing the Bulls roster looking at DeMar. Yes, the answer, bro. Yeah, the where we're going to go here part is fascinating. I've heard some rumors. Like, I think there was a Grange article that had names. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the Grange article. Grange Raptors new president. Let me see if I can find this article. Okay. Oh my God. I'm at the part of the article where they talk about Ben Simmons. Bob. Okay, here we go. I will share my screen. So there is an article going through some names. We can actually go through that. I didn't plan to do this. But here we are. Where do I get the other background? Okay. So some names in the meantime in no order. Bob Myers. So Bob Myers is the guy who put together these Warriors teams. He works for ESPN now. I think he technically has some type of role on the Washington Commanders. So this is, I think, the most established name on this hypothetical list that Grange threw out. And mind you, I don't know that this Grange list is the list that they're going off, or if this is just a personal, like, I haven't read the rest of the article. I don't know if this is his personal take. I don't know if this is a well-researched opinion. We're just going to go through these names. Have you heard of Machiavelli? He said, if you one day once, for a year, do it one day. Like, so is this in relation to the point in time where Masai got fired? Because the thing is like, I would argue that it happened late. If the decision was to fire him, it should have happened end of April. Like, the decision is very late if that's the point you're making. Let's hope the new president isn't ambitious. Apparently ownership hits those types. Damn. Okay, so Bob Myers, right? Cool. At least he has a resume. He has a history. He's put together a very winning team before. The thing that, okay, so I'm not going to sit here and say that because he put together Golden State, he can put together another Golden State, because I think a fair share of fortune goes into anything. What I would say is encouraging about the Bob Myers hire, if it happens, is that Bob Myers is going to be expensive, right? Part of what people talk about with Masai is that this is a cost-cutting measure, right? Masai was making big money. I think he was making like 15 million. Toronto stuff today, NBA wide stuff tomorrow. So that's what we're doing, people. I'm streaming again tomorrow about the league as a whole, but today it's just Toronto. What's up, Jared? Let's get Giannis's agent, bro. Okay, great point. We're gonna get right to that. But yeah, Bob Myers would not be cheap. He would be pretty expensive. So if they hire Bob Myers, at least I can look at myself and say, look, Rodgers wasn't just trying to cut costs. That would be kind of reassuring. So I would like that. But like, again, with Bob Myers, GMs are hard to evaluate. It's not like I've sat there and studied Bob Myers the way I may have, I can talk about a player that I've watched play a bunch of basketball. It's not the same. But Bob Myers, cool. Alex Saratsis, a longtime agent with European ties whose clients include Giannis Antetokounmpo. Guys, to kind of get at what Time to Shine was talking about, you guys down to have a GM that has another Giannis watch potential, or has more of a Giannis watch potential? So Alex Saratsis, again, this follows in with the trend here. Leon Rose with the Knicks, Pelinka with the Lakers, Bob Myers, also another former agent, Zanuck with the Utah Jazz. There is a trend of ex-agents getting big executive jobs in the NBA. So this would follow with that trend. It's a hard thing for me to talk about because, again, these are complete strangers with no resumes stepping into these jobs. And if they're good or not, I have no clue personally. So, Saratsis, will he, I have not much to say other than it would be funny to have Giannis's agent as the GM. Mark Eversley, Chicago Bulls general manager. From what years? Mark Eversley. Oh, he's from Toronto. Hold on. Bulls general manager from 2020 to the present? I'm trying to see. Hold on. Okay, I can't lie. I've not seen enough good stuff happen with the Bulls to be behind this kind of a hire. Matt Lloyd, a highly regarded general manager with the Wolves. Okay, so this is basically Minnesota's Bobby Webster. So this is Tim Connolly's Bobby Webster. This might be decent. Dwayne, oh my God, scroll. Oh my, I cannot believe I just saw that name there. If we hire Dwayne Casey as president, we might have to do the one chip challenge on stream. I'm going to do back-to-back one chip challenges if Dwayne Casey is the president. That would be a disaster. Chad Buchanan, GM with the Pacers. Okay, you know what? I would not mind taking some of the talent from Indy's front office because I think Indy's front office is really impressive. So I mean, like, there aren't really two. There's a couple of names here that pissed me off, like Mark Eversley and Dwayne Casey. Nah, but the other names are decent. We're just gonna sign Giannis's brother to a min contract. No, honestly, sign both of his brothers. If we hire Dwayne Casey, I'm gonna crash out harder than draft night. Yeah, it's gonna be the worst. It's gonna be the worst crash out. That I'm not even a crash out kind of person. But if we made that hire, that would be crazy. Mir Scotty Barnes, creating redundancy and versatility. This overlap could limit, especially with Toronto's needs. Yo, this is the most professional looking overview of our situation that I've seen. But I get what you're saying, bro. I really get what you're saying. Finishing 11th the Eastern Conference. Yeah, you're not wrong. Even Knicks fans would think I took it too far. Nah. Okay, Knicks fans, they're a little bit different. They're definitely a little bit different. But okay, we're gonna close out the Masai topic. Just with some appreciation for Masai because Masai was a real one. I was at the playoff game against Brooklyn, the first game back in the playoffs after like 7 years, where he said "fuck Brooklyn," and I was at the game. I had a seat, and I remember seeing on my phone what he did, and I saw the clip. I clicked it on Twitter. I held my phone up to my ear. I'm listening to him say it, and I'm like, "Yo, I can't believe it!" Like, I wish I was at Jurassic Park, because he said it outside the Scotiabank Arena. And I just think that that's like a very like kind of telling story about what things were like with Masai, right? Masai is maybe the only GM, only executive that could have a person in a game wishing they were outside of a game. He was definitely him. Made the craziest all-in bet ever, trading a beloved franchise, you know, a beloved fan favorite in Toronto for a 1-year rental, and it worked out for a chip. So always gonna appreciate Masai. Unfortunately, everything does come to an end. It is what it is, man. Hopefully, all parties win long term. So closing out the Masai topic, we can pivot to Jakob Poeltl. So Jakob Poeltl got a contract extension, 4 years, 104 million. Actually, let me see if I can find. I'm sure Spotrac has Spotrac Jakob Poeltl. Yeah, I'm sure Spotrac has the breakdown. The estimate. No, you got this wrong. Well, not necessarily wrong. But basically, yeah. Oh, this is weird. Hold on. Jakob Poeltl salary swish. Okay, I think they're gonna have it better. Sorry, buddy. 27 guaranteed deal. Oh, they separated too. That's weird. Anyways, Jakob Poeltl is gonna. He basically opted into his current deal, meaning he's gonna count towards 19.5. No, you know what? Spotrac was better. So basically, the existing contract he has continues. So 19.5 this year, 19.5 next year. Having Jakob Poeltl on my team for 19.5 this year and next year, ages 30 and 31, I'm completely cool with. It's now this next deal where, you know, after those 2 years, he's going to be under contract for 26, 28, and 30 at ages 32, 33, and 34. Now, apparently this last year is unguaranteed or non-guaranteed, whatever the official term is. But there's the only 2 guaranteed years are these 2 years. What I would say, though, is that like Jakob Poeltl at 33 and 32 for those numbers, it seems that's a lot. That is a lot. The NBA is not like the NFL where you could hope for like a really big jump in the cap, because the NBA implemented rules specifying that the salary cap can only go up a max of 10% every year. So this isn't going to be a situation where we've seen this in the past in the NBA where like, oh, the salary cap is going to go up, so you can just hope that a contract ages well. We're not really in that type of situation. 2027 to 2029 on this deal, I just don't think those are going to be good years. I really looks like the Raptors are paying like a continuity tax here. I can't tell who we're bidding against. I don't know who out there is looking to pay Jakob Poeltl this kind of money. Miles Turner got paid what he got paid. Miles Turner has his issues, but Miles Turner does space the floor. Whether he hits the shots or not, you do have to respect it. So to see this number in isolation, not great. But then if you factor in what our cap situation looks like, and we're going to look at that as well in the last segment, this is a lot, man. This is a lot of money to give the guy. Darko's Crasher gonna be the Raps issue, though. Yeah, for sure. So many other coaches are complaining about mistake calls after he did that. Nah, he was a trendsetter. Jakob for 28 years, Saudi's starting center. He's not a flashy type center. So this is the thing, right? Like those 2 years where he's under contract for 20 mil a year, I'm comfortable with that. But they're age 32 and age 33 to be making those 2 numbers. Again, I just think it's an overpay. The alternative is probably trading Jakob. Obviously, you don't let him walk for free in free agency. They must have not liked his trade market. I'm not really a person that like delves too deep into like, oh, if I disagree with something, everybody who thinks like the people who made that decision are so stupid and they don't know what they're doing. Like, I disagree with it. I don't think it's a great deal. If you want to step into the person's shoes that gave him the contract and kind of think what they're thinking through, mind you, again, like part of why he's getting this is because he's opting into this second year of the player option. If we don't put this money on the table, he probably opts out, meaning he's in the last year of his deal. Players on the trade market in the last year of their deal usually don't get much in the trade market. Now, is that his fault? No. Like, that's the Raptors' own doing, letting somebody get to the last year of their deal, essentially, and them being in a rough spot where they have quite a bit of leverage in contract negotiations. And the other teams looking to trade for the player have quite a bit of leverage in trade negotiations. So, you let a contract run towards the end, like we did with Pascal, like we did with OG, like we did with Kyle Lowry, like we did with Fred VanVleet, and you just give your leverage away. So we find ourselves in this situation again with Jakob Poeltl. We know how center dependent we are. Not even centered. Well, yeah, we know how poorly we function without him and without real centers. He's our only real center. We parted with a first-round pick to get him. Like, there's all these different things that give him all the leverage in the world. He has every right to ask for these numbers. And the Raptors, again, being in a bad spot, if they're not willing to take their own medicine, they're going to give in. And they did. I do think we're going to be regretting this deal at some point. And again, we're going to talk about that. But yeah, this was the big move for us. The other move we made is we signed Sandro Mamukelashvili. So with those two moves, I have a bit of a thing here. 1 second. Let me get this out of the way. So have a summary of the roster here. And this is how I've broken it down. I've broken it down into roles and like pieces on the team. So you got, if Jakob thinks we're going to be competing, he might consider a pay cut unless there's another good team throwing him a contract. But yeah, I don't think he unless there's another good team throwing him a contract. But I mean, like, the time for a pay cut is come and gone, right? Like, he already took his deal. It's guaranteed money. Yeah, what's done is done. But the way I've broken it down, you got 5 players that are starting, right? I cannot see any situation where any of these players come off the bench, right? Quickly got paid. BI got traded for. Barnes got a max. Poeltl just got a huge deal. RJ is the one place where there's a bit of give, but like, if you bench RJ as somebody who's playing in the last 2 years of his contract, that is like that. I mean, that's a way. That's how you fracture a relationship with a player, right? Like, for him to get benched, he really has to deserve it, and I don't think he's going to do anything to deserve getting benched. So if you bench RJ Barrett, you're essentially, 1, you probably mess up at whatever trade value he has. 2, you mess up the relationship with the player. So these 5 players are starting, and that is our starting lineup. These lot are on a lot of money for a pretty mid team. This is actually something else. This is another thing we're gonna get at. Okay, time to shine. Putting some pretty valid points out there. So after those 5 players that are gonna start, we got 4 players that I think absolutely are gonna play off the bench, right? So Shed, I think he earned it down the stretch last year. I think he looks like a backup point guard. Took the minutes away from Davion Mitchell. I don't see that, that there's a positive trajectory there. I don't see it going backwards. So Shed is playing. Jacoby Walter, again, similarly, I think there's a positive trajectory. He's an important draft pick for you. I think he's playing. Grady Dick, he's like lesser version of RJ Barrett in the sense of like, I mean, if Grady's not playing good enough, you can maybe bench him and not even bench him. You can take him out of the rotation. But if you do that in year 3, that's fracturing the relationship there with there's no coming back from that. If you take Grady Dick out of the rotation, you have to trade him. Just like if you drop RJ Barrett from the starting lineup, you got to trade him. Again, it's year 3. If you look at some of these players on the competing for bench minutes category, it's not like there's superstars waiting. If Grady loses his spot to one of these players, that's a horrible sign for his time in Toronto. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Grady is there to play off the bench. And then we have the new signing, Sandro Mamukelashvili, the other player that I have as a guaranteed player off the bench. Now, the reason I would say he's a guaranteed player is because, 1, we need big players. If you look at everybody else, you basically have 3 guards. And then if you look at the guys competing for minutes, You don't really see a center there. But yeah, with Sandro Mamukelashvili, also he wouldn't be signing, like, he's a player that's looking to build his career. Like, he would not sign anywhere where he wasn't guaranteed to play. So Sandro is playing, right? Cool. We got 4 players guaranteed. There's literally only like one spot left in the rotation, but then we have the next layer of the roster of guys looking to get minutes. So you got Jonathan Mogbo, Colin Murray Boyles, Elijah Martin. So those two are our draft picks, Jamison Battle and Ochai Agbaji. Ochai is in the last year of his deal. Jamison Battle had some good moments. Hopefully he has a better second year in terms of having a well-rounded game. Elijah Martin and CMB. I think Elijah Martin is probably a pretty uphill battle. The only reason I have him here is because he's 24. Like, Elijah Martin, hilariously, is like 4 months younger than Scotty Barnes. He's a very old rookie. So, I mean, he's older than Jamal Shead by like a year. So, I mean, a part of having that kind of a player, or drafting that kind of a player, yo, Spencer, we are down bad, bro. Tell me about it, bro. Tell me about it. So yeah, we got these 5 players competing for minutes, but the point is, again, like, none of these guys are getting cut. We got Garrett Temple, his roster spot to be an assistant coach / LSAT tutor / media person / something else. He has some other role that's unrelated to playing basketball, right? You got AJ Lawson and Colin Castleton, 2 players that I don't think are going to make the roster. They're both on unguaranteed salaries. They have to not only play well, but they have to take somebody's spot. And when we talk about the financial side of things, after this, you'll see why it's probably not going to happen where we cut a guy on guaranteed salary just to give somebody else money. So those guys are basically just here to be in training camp. We got a couple Exhibit 10 players that are basically just going to be in training camp and then go to the 905. And then we have 2 two-way deals left. Professional LSAT taker and babysitter. There we go. Babysitting was the other non-basketball related role he's getting paid for. So yeah, like, the roster count is 21 out of 23. So you talk about potential moves to be made. There's literally not enough space to make rooms. One of these roster spots is a 2-way spot. So if Elijah Martin gets the 2-way spot for some reason, we only have 2 spots left. But like I said, there's actually 15 players that I think are set to make this team. Actually, no, but if Elijah Martin gets a 2-way, then one of those spots opens up. All that being said, the bigger deal to why we're probably not going to be making Dennis is this era's hoop. Hold on. Did you hear Dennis reach team number 10, bro? Past? Yes, bro. Yes, the Kings. It's the Kings' turn. Is this era's hoop grid, man? This is real. This is real. Ish Smith walked so that Dennis could run. But yeah, the bigger issue to why we're probably not going to be doing anything going forward is that if all these deals work out the way I expect, meaning Elijah Martin gets signed to the real Raptors team, not to a 2-way deal, Castleton and Lawson get waived, we're 2.5 over the luxury tax. Now, what that means to me is that, like, we're going to be getting under that. We're definitely going to be getting under that before the trade deadline. We don't have to do that immediately. But this is what I was talking about when I said that we're not going to be cutting like Garrett Temple or Ochai, like somebody on guaranteed money, to then sign somebody else for like the minimum, which at this point is about $2 million, to go even further above the luxury tax. Like, it's simply not going to happen. So, what's probably going to happen is that at some point, what I would expect, right? Because I think everybody talks about RJ and IQ. I don't think IQ gets traded. He has too much money. I don't think RJ gets traded because the thing is that, like, RJ is a big move for a team. And I think, like, for the team trading for RJ Barrett, that's not like I don't think that's an insignificant move and a move you just stumbled into. Like, if you trade for RJ Barrett, I think that that's like probably high on your priority list as an organization, meaning it would have happened already this offseason. I don't know who's plan B or C would be RJ Barrett. I just think that, like, an organization would either want him or they wouldn't. So I think the Raptors are going to do the Raptors thing and kind of let that situation fall into the last year of his deal, lose a bunch of leverage, and see what happens from there. But yeah, things are pretty much done for the offseason. Like, we have our team. If I had to call what the move would be to get under the luxury tax, I think Ochai gets traded into somebody's trade exception, or probably something like that. We take a minimum salary back, and then that gets us under the deal. CMB spacing in the corner for Barnes is gonna have me cracking up. That is no, and with Poeltl in the dunker spot, bro. Oh, man, you gotta teach me how you did this overlay at some point. Wait, which overlay? The screen sharing. Let me know what you mean. RJ is gonna show up in the bus. Will leave without him. Ochai is the first man out on bingo. Yeah, no. Ochai is getting traded into a trade exception, bro. We're trading that Lakers second round pick that we have, and we're gonna be pick neutral, and be under the side, the little comment corner on the side. Oh, bro. Okay, hold on. It's a new feature they have in StreamYard. It's called chat overlay. It's a option that pops right above the chat on StreamYard. So please note that some platforms have made I can't forget. I forget what it said, but I think this is for like I pay for the cheapest level of StreamYard that you can pay for. So like I don't use the free StreamYard. But I think it's for like if you use the free version of StreamYard, you might not get the option because it's still beta. It's still in development. But yeah, you go above the chat. It's just a little option there. Okay, yeah. Last thing I wanted to look at, I wanted to take us on a journey to salary swish, where shit just got real concerning with Jakob Poeltl's contract. So I love salary swish. Where are we? Okay, roster statistics. Got to toggle this all the way so they're even. Line up the orange dots. I know that this is a lot of numbers and this looks like a spreadsheet, so I'm going to do a lot of talking. Okay, so because the Raptors roster size is at like 20, it currently shows that we're 7.5. We're 7.5 over the luxury tax. Like I said, if you run some math and really figure out where we're at, we're actually going to be minus 2.5 again if Elijah Martin gets a real contract, not a two-way contract. But okay, cool, right? You look at next offseason, roster size 12. So that's not bad. Like you're accounting for 12 players on a 15-man roster. That's a lot of people. And then we have 10 million luxury tax room. Again, not great, but it's viable. You could probably make some moves on the margin to get some more space and operate. Here's where shit gets ridiculous, right? The year after, we have $62 million of space before the luxury tax. This is factoring 6 players on the roster. So in the year 2027, as of now, we have Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Emmanuel Quickly, Jakob Poeltl under contract. Then we are factoring in the options for Jacoby Walter and Colin Murray Boyles. Those 6 players leave us with $62 million of space. Where is it? Here. $62 million of space before the luxury tax. That is a mess. We gotta clean up the front office. Facts. It needs a colonoscopy for sure. The real thing is the apron. But hold on. But the thing is like, I still think that the Raptors are gonna want to, especially while they're not good, like not even be in the luxury tax at all, because it's not just about avoiding paying the luxury tax, but if you're not in the luxury tax, then you're a recipient from the teams that are. So yeah, dude, like some shit has to be done because 2027 looks like a mess. And the thing isn't even in like Hold on. You have to pay the minimum baseline floor. Wait, are we talking about the cap minimum? Like the minimum salary line for every year? Cause no, what I'm saying is that like we are 62 million off the luxury tax in 2027 with only 6 players under contract. Meaning we have to then fill out 9 more players with the remaining 62 mil. You do the math, that's roughly what? 6 mil, that's like 6 mil per player. In 2027, inflation, minimum salaries are going to be like what's it called? 3 million by that point. It's going to be bad. So yeah, like the tricky thing is you might say, okay, you know what, you dump Jakob Poeltl and you dump Emmanuel quickly, and that takes care of that. But these are NBA deals. In the NBA, you have to match salaries, right? So you can't just make Jakob Poeltl's by that point, what is the number? $26 million go away, because in the trade you have to take 21-ish back. So unfortunately, what's going to have to happen at some point is that these contracts have to get traded for like an expiring deal and a young player. And that young player is only going to be worth a shit if the players are good. So you got to hope IQ gets great. You got to hope Jakob stabilizes and keeps his value where it is, because otherwise those trades are going to be like, it's going to be very Kyle Lowry for Goran Dragic and Precious Achua-esque. It's going to be like that. Our tax bill is... Hold on, we were in the tax last year? Damn, I didn't know that. But yeah, people, that's where it's at. That's where my big concern is, because, I mean, these numbers look nasty, but I wasn't really paying attention to them. Like, really paying attention to them, because Jakob Poeltl's money wasn't factored in. This number 62, where is it? This number of 62 didn't really stand out to me, because it was, I think, 90-ish. But now that Poeltl's money is locked in, that's another big chunk that goes away. Oh, mind you, it's actually less than 62, right? Because our first round pick next year is going to eat away at that salary. So our first round pick takes away like 6, 7 more of that, maybe, let's say. 55 million to get 8 players. What does that math look like? 7 mil per player. Absolutely disgusting. Don't have to trade a player. Remember what the Dame Bucks put a lot of dead money on their books. So I guess it's worth it for them. Brother, if we stretch and waive Emmanuel Quickly or Jakob Poeltl, I might have to consider deleting the channel. Actually, no, I lied. I don't think I would delete the channel, but I would definitely turn the channel into like a larger NBA platform. I said 35 wins. Yeah, man, it's not looking good. You know what I'm actually gonna do though? After free agency slows down, between free agency and summer league, I'm gonna do a stream where I compare the Raptors to every single team. Probably gonna do an East stream and a West stream. But yeah, we informally did that exercise during a summer league game last year. I had the come to Jesus moment. But yeah, the man said I did it. Yeah, let me know where you have us finishing in the lottery, like 12th. No, why did I say 12th? Like 6th. They're paying. And you know what's weird? The Bucks are doing this for the second time. So they did this with Larry Sanders. They stretched and waived 3 years of a Larry Sanders deal. So they were paying Larry Sanders 7 years. Do we have a top 8 player in the East? I don't think so. It feels like you can get to 8 pretty quickly. I'm imagining that. So here's the thing, right? It's not even a question if we're assuming everybody's healthy. I'm assuming that the conversation is like, that's only like an impactful point because you're not accounting for injured players. But yeah. So that's the Raptor stuff I came to talk about, people. You guys can let me know if you have anything else to talk about. I don't have a whole ton of Sandro Mamukelashvili expertise. I know that he scored 34 points in 19 minutes, and that's the most points scored ever under 20 minutes. That's pretty cool. I know he grew up in Georgia, not the state, the country, and played a lot of I think he played high school ball in Italy. So, pretty cultured guy. He's going to fit in Toronto. I know he can at least stretch the floor a little bit. I know he cost 2.5 million for a reason. We definitely aren't getting a superstar. But yeah, man, we'll see. Again, I think things are low stakes from the standpoint of I don't see the path for us to being legitimately good. So my investment begrudgingly is in player development. I'm looking to see like how good guys like Jacoby and Shed can get. But yeah, what's it called? I'm gonna try to. Isn't some game changer for the second squad? Dude's even like 14, 15 player on the Spurs when they were rebuilding. Yeah, man, context clues. Like if he was good on a team like the Spurs, he would have stood out because the Spurs give their players a lot of opportunities because they're not good. And Wemby was down, right? Where was he before then? Milwaukee, bro. A floor spacing big is exactly what you need when you have Giannis. So if he was a good floor spacing big, it would have shown in Milwaukee. So like, man, Sandro is cool. Like from the standpoint of you needed a body with a particular skill set, and this team seems to be very insistent on having bigs that can play out of the post more so than anything else. So it's like you got what you're asking for, but yeah, it's not going to be like a great player. So I agree with Gio. Hawks are better too. You say you don't believe in the Hawks, but they're definitely better than us. Miami also may be coached better than you're betting at 19 and was fighting with the Bulls and Hornets. Wizards. Then, bro, the Wizards low key have a hell of a have a bunch of random veterans. Spotrack Wizards. Like it kind of took me by surprise to see all the names at once. But yeah, they have CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart. Where's the rest of the guys? Hold on. Oh, they don't have Brogdon anymore. Brogdon is a UFA. Okay, I thought they still had Brogdon. So I was thinking about like, bro, Brogdon, Smart, McCollum, Middleton. What is this? This is god level bench, bro. That's a hell of a group of players from 2019. Or overall talent as Trade's better than any player we have, and I don't even like Trade top pick. Arsenal is going to be nice. Wizards with defense will be interesting. They also got man. They have they have so many babysitters. You talk about Temple being a babysitter, man. The Wizards got babysitters for days. He can contribute. Like this is the thing. All these players, like if they start their young players and they just decide to go like baptism by fire on the young guys, like. Those guys are going to be a good bench. Like all these guys we're talking about. Okay. Young Kobe. I'm going to do an larger NBA stream tomorrow. Today, I just wanted to focus on the Raptors, but this was something I was looking forward to talking about. And the hate to MPJ is superficial. I think the hate more comes from King, who is the Nuggets fan of this channel or this community. But I hate to see him leave Jokic. Oh, true. I mean, bro, like Denver had an interesting day. We'll talk about. Are we actually glazing Olynyk? Not glazing Olynyk. We're glazing that bench unit potentially, bro. Olynyk, Middleton, Smart, and then in my head, Brogdon and McCollum. I was like, yo, as a bench unit, they could kick some ass. Mess said no porters allowed. No porters allowed is a great way to end the stream, people. So like I said, today was just about the Raptors. I just wanted to get that in, get my takes off about Masai, Poeltl, Sandro, luxury tax, all of that. Look at that. The true Nuggets fan is in here. He'll be here tomorrow, I'm sure. He'll be here tomorrow. So like I said, today was just about the Raptors. Tomorrow will be about the NBA as a whole. So we're going to talk about all the moves. We're going to talk about Dame tearing his Achilles in the name of freedom. We're gonna talk about whatever the hell the Bucks are doing. We're gonna talk about whatever the hell the Kings are doing, paying Dennis Schroeder. How long before Bobby fired? Within 12 months, probably. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, roughly a similar time, 7-ish, 8-ish, somewhere there. Here late. What time is the stream tomorrow? Big up, Zach. Good to see you. The stream is going to be around this time, so 7 Eastern, 8 Eastern, around that time. We're going to talk about the league as a whole. Today was just about Toronto. So before Am shaves his beard, I'll never shave my beard. What is this about your beard going? Bro, I'm never shaving my beard. Never. What the hell? General wants me to shave my beard because he sees my beard and he's like, fuck, that's a hell of a beard. I wish I had that. And you will. It comes with time. It comes with it. It comes with time and patience and genetics. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow around this time. Don't hate on the man's beard. Facts. Hold on. You should try not to shave until we have a 500 record at the end of the season. But I'm never shaving. I have no reason to. If you guys have seen me without a beard, you would know, like, you would understand me. But yeah, I will see you guys. This was a lot of fun. Mind you, yeah, remember, all NBA topics are going to be discussed tomorrow. You guys have fun until then. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. I am out.